A woman was tricked by her boyfriend into going on a trip for the first time, only to discover that he had booked just one room. Although they were getting married next month, the conservative girl still felt it was inappropriate. When she saw the revealing outfit her boyfriend had prepared, she instantly understood his intentions. The woman wanted to refuse, but her boyfriend suddenly shoved her into the bathroom. She slipped and hit her head hard on the sink. Unexpectedly, the moment she lost consciousness, countless scenes from the future flooded her mind. After her boyfriend got her pregnant before marriage that night, her traditional parents would force her to marry him. Taking advantage of the situation, the scumbag would pressure her into transferring the shop she had spent years building over to him. With no source of income, she would become nothing more than a free nanny for his family after marriage, serving them for over 10 years. Yet when her parents became critically ill, the man refused to spend even a penny to help them, ultimately causing their tragic deaths. The woman woke up in shock. Although she didn't understand why those memories had appeared in her mind, she decided to test whether everything from the dream was true. Pretending to play along, she teased her boyfriend and then directly questioned whether booking only one room was part of his plan to trick her into getting pregnant. "How did you know?" At that moment, she realized the dream had been real. Furious, the girl threw all of the scumbag's clothes out the window and ran out of the hotel despite his angry curses behind her. She even prayed that the first snow of 2002 would freeze her to death. But just then, she heard her ex-boyfriend shouting insults behind her again. As she tried to run away once more, she slipped and crashed straight into a tall man's arms. The moment their eyes met, the man felt an indescribable connection. The girl also immediately recognized him as a young and successful factory owner nearby. In her dream, the man would leave for the south the next day and die in a traffic accident caused by terrible weather. "Tomorrow. You absolutely cannot go south tomorrow." The man was confused by the strange girl in front of him, but he still insisted that preparations at the factory were already complete and he had to leave first. After speaking, he departed with his assistant. Zhou Qingguang, hearing his name called, made him stop in his tracks. The girl hurried toward him and suddenly declared, "Either you die or you marry me. Choose one." Since the man had always believed there was no harm in having a wife, he took her to the Civil Affairs Bureau early the next morning to register their marriage. Before entering, however, the girl handed him a divorce agreement. She admitted she knew he was worth millions and had already signed the papers herself. Once his predicted disaster was avoided, they would divorce immediately. Sure enough, after returning to the company a few days later, the man found his assistant and workshop supervisor mourning in grief. When they saw him walk in alive, they were terrified. Only after touching his warm body did they realize he had not died. "You didn't go to the new factory in the south?" That fortune-teller girl was actually right. The news said there was a terrible accident on the highway. The man explained that instead of going south, he had gone to register his marriage with the girl. The employees felt sorry for him, thinking the girl had dumped her fiancé and immediately married someone else just to scam him. However, the man pulled out the divorce agreement and explained that the girl had only married him to help him avoid disaster, and they would divorce afterward. Just then, the traffic police called to inform him that because the girl had warned them in advance, they had closed the road early, preventing casualties. The man was deeply moved by how kind and compassionate she was and immediately decided he wanted to win her heart. He instructed his assistants to buy wedding candy, saying he had an important task for them and that everything must go perfectly. Then he went to pick the girl up from work. At that moment, she was being harassed by her ex-boyfriend. He shamelessly claimed that since the shop had been prepared by her parents as part of her dowry, it naturally belonged to him. When the girl refused to sign the transfer agreement, he hired a group of thugs to cause trouble outside the store with banners, quickly attracting many curious bystanders. "Sign the transfer agreement obediently, or I'll have these guys stand outside your shop every day." The tall man calmly calculated the costs for the thugs. One temporary worker earns 80 a day. For people make 320. Add banner costs and fuel expenses, and it's 400 a day. 3 days is 1,200. A month is 12,000. How long can you keep this up? Then he offered the thugs double what the ex-boyfriend was paying them, on the condition that they tear down the current banner and instead go protest outside the scumbag's business with a new banner reading, "Shameless scumbag bullying his ex and stealing property." The girl was completely stunned by his response. The thugs immediately switched sides and left. Afterward, the girl thanked the man and suggested they go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to divorce immediately. But the man refused, saying that the issue with her ex-boyfriend had just happened, and divorcing now would only fuel rumors. For the time being, staying married was better. The girl reluctantly agreed. However, she never expected that the man would soon arrive at her parents' house carrying piles of expensive gifts to formally visit her family. Her mother was overjoyed and kept praising her handsome son-in-law, while her father acted jealous and sarcastically remarked that good looks alone were useless. The man smiled and replied emotionally, "No matter how good a husband is, he can never compare to a father's love for his daughter. But I'll work hard to earn your approval." That single sentence instantly won over the father. Later, the mother prepared a huge meal for him. Watching her parents so happy after such a long time made the girl emotional as she remembered the painful future from her memories. Tears filled her eyes. Her father immediately thought the man had bullied her, but her mother noticed all the small details. He had carried all the heavy bags himself, handed the girl tissues the moment she cried, and secretly placed the biggest piece of ribs into her bowl during dinner. That night, the girl's mother even arranged for the man to stay over. Just as everyone thought the newlyweds would finally spend the night together, the girl suddenly rushed into the room, leaving the man completely stunned.